Welcome. I'm Pastor Keith Sharp at Coastal Hope Retreat in Antipolo, Tuburan, Cebu, Philippines, where Jesus meets us in healing and hope. A few years ago, I was doing jail ministry here in the Philippines, and this man, I'll call him Daniel, he pulled me aside after my message. He looked desperate, defeated. Daniel asked me a question I've heard 100 times in 100 different ways. Pastor Keith, why does my same inner turmoil keep defeating me? I pray, I read my Bible, I confess, I say I'll change, and I mean it. But it's like there's something inside me stronger than my willpower, stronger than my promises. Why can't I break free? I really knew that question because for years I was asking the same thing. Here's what I've discovered. The reason the same thing keeps defeating you isn't because you're not trying hard enough. It's because you're fighting the wrong battle, in the wrong place, with the wrong weapons. And once you understand where the real battle is happening, everything changes. For most of my Christian life, when I struggled with something, sin, temptation, destructive patterns, I thought the answer was one of three things. 1, pray more. If I just spend more time in prayer, God will give me the strength to overcome. 2, read more scripture. If I just memorize more verses, I'll have the right thoughts when temptation comes. Or 3, try harder. If I just exercise more discipline, more willpower, more self-control, I can beat this thing. And listen, prayer is good, scripture is essential, discipline matters. I'm not saying those things are wrong. But here's what I didn't understand. Those things were never meant to be the solution. They're meant to help me access the one who is the solution, Jesus, my healer. Because the real problem wasn't my behavior. The real problem was what was happening in my soul. The part of me I didn't even understand. Can I ask you something? Do you know what your soul is? Not just, yeah, I have a soul, but do you actually know what it is? What it does? Why it matters? Most Christians don't. I didn't. And that's exactly why we keep losing the same battles over and over again. Let me show you something Jesus showed me that changed everything. When you struggle with anger, where is that anger coming from? Not just where does it come from in the moment, but where does it live? When you wrestle with anxiety, where does that anxiety reside? And when you battle lust or bitterness or fear or shame, where is the root of that thing? It's in your soul, not your body. It's not your flesh. It's not your brain, though it affects all three. The battlefield is your soul. And here's the thing most Christians never realize. You don't just have a soul. You are a soul. Think about it. When you say, my body, who's the my? When you say, my mind, who's the owner? You are. You, the soul, have a body. You, the soul, have a mind. But you are the soul. And your soul? It's not just some vague, mystical, floating thing. Your soul has structure. It has parts. It has a geography, if you will. Your soul is made up of your mind, how you think, your will, the choices you make, your emotions, what you feel, and all three of those are connected, influencing each other, shaping how you experience life. And here's what absolutely wrecked me when I understood it. When your soul gets wounded through trauma, through sin against you, through lies you believed, through broken relationships, those wounds don't just disappear because you became a Christian. They infect your soul. They create patterns. They drive behaviors that keep you trapped in cycles you can't break because you're trying to change your behavior when the real problem is the infection in your soul. And willpower? Natural willpower cannot heal a supernatural infection, but compassionate Jesus can. When I finally understood that I am a soul, that my struggles aren't out there in my flesh, they're connected to wounds and infections in my soul. Everything about Jesus' ministry made sense. Suddenly I understood why Jesus didn't just say, "Be forgiven." No. Jesus said, "Be healed." Suddenly I understood why he didn't just deal with my sin. He deals with what's causing my sin. Suddenly I understood why my confession alone never set me free. Because confession addresses the fruit. Jesus' healing addresses the rut. And here's the most important thing. When you understand you are a soul and finally know where to bring your struggles, you stop fighting your behavior and start asking Jesus to heal your soul. You stop managing symptoms and start receiving his compassionate healing. You stop trying harder and start growing deeper in your relationship with the healer. Now here's what I want to do in the next video. I want to show you exactly what your soul is, not in vague mystical language, but in clear, biblical, practical terms. I'm going to show you why you are a soul, not just have one. The three parts of your soul and how they work together, and how your soul gets wounded and infected, and why understanding this is the key to receiving the blessed healing Jesus offers every tribe, tongue, and person. Because once you see it, once you understand the architecture of your soul, you'll never pray the same way again. You'll never confess the same way again. You'll never approach Jesus the same way again. You'll stop saying, "Jesus, help me stop doing that thing." And you'll start saying, "Jesus, my healer, show me how you want to heal this wound in my soul, to cut out the root of this struggle, not just forgive the sinful fruit." That's where freedom lives, not in behavior management, but in receiving Jesus' healing that progressively reveals God's likeness in your soul. The next video, Understanding Your Soul, the part of you Jesus came to heal. Hit subscribe right now if you don't want to miss it, because what I'm about to show you is the foundation for everything else in this series. I'll see you there, and trust me, this is where it all starts to make sense. This is Pastor Keith from the healing shores of Coastal Hope Retreat and Apollo Tiburon, Cebu, Philippines. We exist to help people encounter and receive the practical blessings Jesus the healer offers. through these videos and face-to-face at our healing retreats. Learn more at coastalhoperetreat.org. And remember, Jesus didn't come only to forgive you. He came to heal and bless, fulfilling the Father's great mission to bless all peoples. May He make His face shine upon you until we meet again.